What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Malia J here, and we're back with another video. I know it's been a minute since I last posted, but I've been working on myself for these last couple of weeks, trying to get my personal life together. But I will continue posting on YouTube more often. It's kind of been a little hectic with everything that I've been trying to implement and manifest in my life. But I want to say that I am making progress. Most of you are probably wondering, why am I dressed in this big poofy dress? I am going to a tea party today, but before I do go, I wanted to stop and talk to you guys about something that I had on my mind for the last week or two. So let's jump straight right in. When you begin to embark on a spiritual journey, it can be overwhelming and it can plunge you into a negative vibration or a negative headspace because it can be a lot that you're now learning. It's like waking up after a long slumber. Really, truly, it is. It's like you begin to see the wrong in everything around you, everything you eat, everything you drink, even down to everything you watch, what you wear, what's going on around you, what are people doing around you, and it kind of makes you feel alone. You can go down these rabbit holes of just negative information. For example, I find myself when I learn something new or when I'm trying to learn something new, I end up trying to find as much history or information about it as I can and just read articles, read books, listen to podcasts and videos and different points of views. And I go down these rabbit holes of trying to understand why something happened or when something happened. What was the original set point that set all of this off to have it even be going on today? And that's me. Like, for example, the situation with Astro World, that was like a big negative energy transference going on there. Even down to when they had the interview with Lil Uzi and he was telling people, you heard things in the song and you didn't even know, and how all of the people who were there are going to hell with him and things of that nature. And like artists like that, I can't do it. Once you blatantly come out and show how you really are as a person, as an artist, I just can't look at them the same. But I think I got sidetracked. I talked too much about that. So what I've learned is, like, I've started a journey where I've cutting out eating meat. We started really researching the companies that we were buying our meat from, and not just our meat, just like snacks. Y'all, I love, like, meat wasn't nothing for me because I already was a weirdo who didn't like anything with bone. I don't know, I know I'm weird. So it wasn't that hard for me. But my snacks, y'all, my snacks, I love snacks. I love my snacks, my sugary sweets, my goods. I had to give them up. Well, I'm lying. I didn't give them up completely, but I've switched them out for healthier alternatives, or I eat less of them. So I would only eat them if I'm going out to intentionally purchase it for the weekend or for that day and eat it for that day or the weekend, versus when I just used to buy a whole bunch of them and put them in the closet. We started looking into the brands and are there any chemicals in the fruits or the fruit snacks or the drinks that we're getting? And we had to cut out a lot of the major companies that are so delicious. I'm on the snack aisle thinking, like, this is depressing that everything that tastes good that I want to eat and enjoy can freaking kill me, you know? And I used to be that person that was like, don't tell me about it. I'ma just eat it. If I die, I die. You only live once. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I want to live a long, healthy, happy life. I want to die peacefully if I can help it. And so that mindset totally went out the window. I do care what is put in my food. I do care what is put in my drinks. And some days, very rarely, out the month, maybe once or twice a month, you may catch me with a snack or something. But for the most part, I have been doing my damnest to not eat anything that I know has hazardous chemicals in there, and it is really, really depressing. It's just a lot. It's just a lot. And I had to like even down to like reading Behold a Pale Horse, when he's talking about the different things to come, or the different things that have already happened, and the different things that are happening now. Like, even though that book was written in like 1992, I believe, it still has things in that book that I've researched and found to be true. And it was just a little overwhelming for me. Like, even to the point where my boyfriend was like telling me to calm down because I was crying. And I was like, man, I really don't have any hope for humanity. Like, is this what we are? Like, is this what we doing? Like, it's just a lot. I just felt like I had one of those days where I broke down crying. I was like, I don't see the hope. I don't see, you know, how we're going to elevate, how we're going to evolve. And eventually I had to learn, and I'm still learning sometimes when I'm looking into things, that you have to take a break. When you're on a spiritual journey, it's so much information to learn and to research and look into, even down to things that can help you in your day-to-day life, or just things that you can look into just for fun to figure out what really happened. It's so much. You have to learn when to learn certain stuff, or when to look into certain stuff. Everything happens for a reason. People come into your life for a reason. So if you're currently on a spiritual journey right now, you're currently learning things that you never knew about, and you're trying to better your life and those around you, do not stress yourself out trying to help other people see things that they do not want to see or are not ready to see. Do not feel alone in such a broad community, and realize that when it's time for you to meet people with the same goals in mind, those people will eventually come into your life at the divine right timing. So right now, you are in a stage of your life where it's time for you to learn. It's time for you to be a sponge and soak up as much knowledge as you can. And it's time for you to deal with your emotions and go through the emotions and the different ways that you're going to feel with learning things. It's time for you to make mistakes and correct them before you're able to elevate and meet the people that will take you to an even higher level. Right now, you're learning. Right now is you're in your growth season. You're in your season of growing. You're in your season of learning. You're in your season of implementing. You're in your season of making mistakes so that you can correct them and not make those mistakes down the line. Do not feel alone when you're on this journey, but also do not let the things that you're learning consume you and throw you into these negative headspaces. I believe that when you're on your spiritual journey, you have to take your time. And when you begin to wake up, it really feels like you're out of time. Like, you do not have enough time to prepare yourself and your family for what you need to do. There's actually this old man, he's like in his 70s or 80s, that I was speaking with at work. He was just telling me how he feels lonely, for the last 20 years, because he's been realizing stuff and trying to help his family and friends. And I'm going to tell you guys something that he told me. You cannot save everyone. You are not the savior of everyone. Not everyone is willing or open to hear what you have to say, even though it might be good for them, even though it might help them in the end. At the end of the day, you have to prepare yourself, and you have to keep pushing yourself. And when it's time for them to come in and listen to what you got to say, they will be there if they are meant to be. Don't focus on trying to help other people and you feel like there's only so much you can do. If they're not ready to hear what you have to say, you have to keep moving on your own. And as you're moving on your own, do not rush yourself to learn all of the things that are out there in the world to learn. Take your time, and you have to learn to do what you can do in the time that you have, in the moments, I should say, that you have. Focus on each moment, focus on the present, and focus on what you can do to elevate your life. And worry about learning the other things that are just fun to learn or research in later. Do those in your spare time, but don't dive so deep into it that you get lost and you can't find yourself, or you find yourself at a low emotional set point. Honestly, truly, it's just really about balance, because without positive, there's no negative. Without negative, there's no positive. So, of course, you're going to have to learn about the little negative things here and there, but you also want to remember to focus on the positives and not get so sucked into the negatives, no matter how interesting what you're learning may be, if it's just something that you're going to learn but you can't actually put to use. I hear a lot of people say that ignorance is bliss, and that they rather remain ignorant to certain things that are happening within their community, or certain structural injustices that are going on within the community or in the world. They rather ignore it. Um, I would say ignorance is bliss, but it will come back to bite you in the ass one day, because instead of at least researching or listening to what is going on and paying attention to it, you're ignoring it and trying to be delusional and pretend that everything is fine when it is not. Pretending does not get you anywhere. You have to be aware of your surroundings. You have to be aware of your community, your world, and what is going on. That does not mean you have to partake in certain conversations that are negative. That does not mean you have to partake in certain things all the time. It just means that be aware of it, so that in case you need to prepare yourself for anything that's going on within your surroundings, you can do so. If you become aware of what's going on, you can always try to prepare yourself, or at least not be shocked or surprised when something goes down, because you already dealt with your emotions and seen what was going to come or what is happening now that brought whatever is going to come in your life, or to all of us, really, because certain things are affecting us globally and not just individually. When you're on your spiritual journey and you're learning things and you're starting to become aware of your surroundings and things that are going on, and you're trying to prepare yourself and your family, you can only do so much alone, and you have to realize that. Stop trying to take on things that requires a large number of people, and just take on what you can do by yourself if you are alone on this journey. It can be very easy to feed negative, dark energy. All it takes is sadness, hate, anger, frustration, really any low vibrational feeling that is not one of happiness, content, gratefulness, appreciation, love. If it's not any of those, it's very easy to feed the darkness, to feed the negative energy. And when you're on a spiritual journey, there is so much negative energy because things have been hidden for so long. People have been programmed to act certain ways. We do certain things to each other that we shouldn't even be doing. It's just when you're on this journey and you're learning so much, you're able to notice so much negativity that you didn't notice before. When you're on your spiritual journey, you are being tested. You have to realize it is a test. You're being tested to see if you're ready to go to the next level. That means you have to push through. You have to persevere, and you have to realize that no matter what you're learning, no matter what you find out, you're going to always be able to pull yourself back up into a positive, high vibrational headspace. And if that's something that's harder for you to do on your own, reach out to me. Reach out to others of the spiritual community. Find someone in your life with like minded thinking so you can be there for each other. Because I'm not even going to lie, the day that I was overwhelmed and that I broke down, it really did help me to have someone that's on the same spiritual journey as me and with a similar mindset. Like, he really is my rock. He keeps me centered. No matter how crazy he drives me, he does bring me back to a place of peace, and I appreciate him for that. So if you can't be that for yourself sometimes because it's just too much, find someone that can. I'm here. I want to build a community that supports each other, no matter where you're from, no matter who you are, no matter what you do. The spiritual journey is not all gloom and doom, but it can be overwhelming, but that's okay. Acknowledge how you feel, like I always say, and then learn or try or push yourself to overcome any negative emotions or feelings that you're experiencing in that time, that you're experiencing in that moment, and continue being aware, continue learning, and continue gaining knowledge, especially on things that will help you become a better individual and that will help you evolve your life for the better. Peace, love, light, and healing. See you guys next week.